What's up, YouTube? I'm making another video here showing like progression, some of the materials and stuff that I've used in the Dead Space costume. You can see the helmets behind me there. Um, yeah, this whole thing, it's funny because it started out thinking that it was just going to be like this simple, throw together really quick costume, and here I am like still working on it, and I've got a little over a month left. So yeah, a little behind, but some of the parts I'm showing you here, they're not completed yet. The suit, there's really not much of a point in me bringing that out here and showing it to you yet. All the material is on it and everything. The arm pieces are on it and all that, but uh, yeah, I'm basically going to show you the materials that I used to make the suit slash helmet, stuff like that. Um, so yeah, first of all, the helmet that I used, that's actually the second one that I used because uh, there's a little bit of an issue with the helmet that I'm still trying to figure out. If you look at it, you can see that it's kind of wide over here, and that's driving me absolutely insane. Um, so I need to figure out a way to narrow that up a little bit. I don't understand why it's doing that. It's just like a weird warping thing, but I'll get that figured out. That'll be the last thing I do. But the first thing I did is the helmet that I used, well, you're going to see the top of it painted because this was the original helmet that was used. It's this one right here. As you can see, it's like a skate helmet. It's got some crappy design on the side there, and they have these holes all over them. And what I used to cover those holes up was like, I've got a bag here that's full of the stuff that I use. So I used this right here, which it looks backwards on my screen right now. It may invert to normal, but yeah, you can see that there. Um, yeah, it's just some kind of spackle. I got it at Walmart. It's really cheap. It's really lightweight, which is what I was looking for, because I didn't want the helmet to weigh any more than it actually did, and you know, well, that was that. So, and the inside had like the weird styrofoam type of material inside of there, and I busted all that out so you can see inside what it looks like. And then I just put the tape down in there and then spackled all over the holes on the top to where, I mean, you can kind of see them there, like at a certain angle, but they're really not visible. Like, I can barely tell where they are in the helmet. But my initial mistake, the very first thing I did was, you can see where the straps were. I cut them out thinking that I wasn't going to need them. Stupid idea. So if you do decide to do the same thing that I'm doing, don't cut the straps out. That's a bad idea. Yeah, so that was the very first thing I did. Cut the damn straps out of the helmet after I busted all the foam out of there. um, but yeah, the helmet itself, I think it was like, I don't know, probably like 14 bucks at Walmart, something like that. I mean, it wasn't expensive, so yeah. And the paint I used the same kind of Rust-Oleum white primer for the helmet, for the little graphics and all that crap that were up here. And then I used this kind of paint, which is like the gold hammered finish kind of paint there that you see all over the helmet and everything. Yeah, that's what I used. Like, that's the majority of the costume. I used that kind of paint. There's also like a black hammered finish, which I used for certain parts, which is funny because the black actually turns out like a gunmetal, which is kind of what I wanted, so I lucked out there. And as far as the foam goes, all these little pieces here, the little blocks on the front and all the way around the side and back, I used the stuff that the guys at the Replica Prop Forum told me to use, which is this stuff right here. And you can get this at Walmart. I think it's like $5.77 for a roll. I mean, there's quite a bit there. And, I mean, the stuff goes a long way, even though I've bought probably 5 or 6 of these things now. Yeah, it's really a godsend, that stuff is. The only problem, which I guess this is, like I said, my first costume, so I guess there's certain ways to seal the foam to where it doesn't look so foam textured. And I didn't do that, so as far as that goes, I don't know what to tell you, but And then the strips on the front here that I was telling you about, it's actually the kind that I'm going to show you is a thicker gauge than what is on the front here, because there's like a thinner kind that I got from Hobby Lobby. It's like 97 cents for a sheet. For the thinner kind that I used on the front of this, it's like 70 cents for a sheet. Of course, I went with white, but it's this stuff right here. Not real expensive, easy to work with, really flexible, everything like that. So worked out pretty well. It cuts pretty well, everything like that. No big deal there. I just used most of the time. I mean, I got away with using scissors, but I use X-Acto knives every now and again for certain things. Let's see, what else do I have to show you here? As far as the rig, his backpack thing goes, for those of you guys who don't really play Dead Space all that much, actually just finished this last night. Well, it's not finished, but I just put the last piece on here, on the side anyways, last night for it. But this was probably the most expensive part of it, simply because of the shit that I had to order for it. But the rig is not completed, but there it is so far. It still has parts that need to be added up here. I'm going to add some little accents on the actual part here. This right here, the covering, it's actually just, this is just a PVC vinyl tubing, first of all. It's like a thicker gauge. And it's really not very I mean, it is flexible, but it wants to bend back in this curly shape, so that's kind of a pain in the ass. But luckily enough, whenever we rolled the green film here, that's what this is, when we rolled that on there, it straightened out the tube and everything, so it kept it at a moderately straight like position there, so it kind of got lucky. But the window film was why this is so expensive. For not very much of it, I think I spent like $40 on this window film. It was just a pain in the ass. And what I'm going to do is, there's a cap that I made for it that's sitting over there drying right now, so I'm not going to get my hands all dirty with it. But you can see in the bottom it's hollow, so it goes all the way up the tube. I'm going to put glow sticks in here, and I've seen that before in other people's costumes, other people's rigs and everything like that. And it seems to work pretty well, so I'm going to try it out. And then the little cap just kind of slides over it, and that's painted the same color as all this. And this is that Rust-Oleum stuff here, the paint color is here. And basically what I used for like a model to go by is I just saved the game on Dead Space and just continued to look at it and rotate the camera and everything. I mean, that's really the best thing you can do. So if you don't have the game, I'm not trying to plug it and sell it or anything, but you should totally buy it. So yeah, I guess I am kind of plugging it and selling it. You should totally buy it and then just kind of rotate the camera, and you can look at them in every single angle you possibly want to, and you can see how everything's kind of put together. So it really helped out a lot. The plasma cutter. This thing is, I mean, it literally took me about 20 minutes to make this thing. I just whipped it together really fast because I didn't really go too into detail with it, because I just wanted to kind of get this piece out of the way. And it turned out okay. You know, I can't really complain. It's kind of small, but I'm figuring out ways to get around that. And I'm going to add some more pieces to it and everything. And there's a couple pieces that aren't on it, so before everyone's like, oh god, that's not accurate, you know. I know. So, but I'll explain how it's made. But anyways, plasma cutter right there. There's no little LED things going on there, none of that. I didn't really make it all fancy how it should be. I was more focusing on the suit itself. At first I wasn't even going to use I wasn't even going to make any kind of weapon or anything like that, so this is really just a last minute thing that I just whipped together really fast. The gun it's not even a Nerf gun. I got it from Walmart. It's like a cheap Nerf-esque kind of gun, and I think it cost me like $5 if that. And I didn't even have to cut anything, so I mean, it's all on preference on what you want to, you know, what gun you want to use, but I would definitely suggest getting a toy gun, starting with that. And the color, it was like this greenish color, the gun was, and I just wound up primering over it and then using that gunmetal finish I was telling you about, the same kind of Rust-Oleum stuff. And it looks black, but it's not. When you actually apply it, it's not. But yeah, that's what I used for that. These pieces here are actually like a, they're not, so you can kind of see the gauge on there. It's not like a, I don't know, it's like a weird foam board kind of thing. It's made by Elmer's, again, not very cheap, couple dollars. Or not very cheap, not very expensive. Just a few bucks. And then I used the Rust-Oleum paint on there. It was just like a yellow, not even a hammered finish. Which you can't really see the detail, but it looks kind of dirty and dingy, which is how I wanted it to work out. But all I did was basically make like a little mixture of like the yellow and the gunmetal. So it kind of worked itself out there. Man, what else? Jeez. So much stuff here. See, the gloves, like, another thing that I found really, really helpful was those little spotlight things, which I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. Those, I've got a couple of those on the suit. They've just really kind of worked wonders. And for the little navigation thing that he uses with his hand, I bought these weird kind of gloves. You can't really see the detail because it's so dark in here and this camera's kind of shit. But yeah, I mean, they actually look pretty sweet. Which, yeah, there you can kind of see the detail a little bit more. And for the palm, I cut out a circle, and I'm actually going to add pieces on top of this stuff, so they're not just going to be this black color. But for the palm, I cut out a circle and put those little lights in there. So now you press it, and there you go. There's your little light guy, and that thing's actually really friggin' bright. So it actually turned out pretty well for that. So I guess I can't really complain. Yeah, and as far as any other materials that I have, that's pretty much everything I have out here right now. I mean, I have like a bag of tools that I bought, but I mean, really, it's just kind of common sense what you need and what you don't need and everything like that. A lot of glue sticks. I use that a lot. And my roommate Carrie keeps walking to that door over there, and she's gonna get super pissed off. But she's, yeah, I'm mentioning her right now, so make fun of Carrie, I guess. Anyways, but yeah, that's basically the materials I've used so far. So that's how that goes. I'll be back with more stuff once the suit's finished and everything. I'll explain that a little bit more, which it's more or less just the same materials that I've been showing you so far. A whole lot of paint, and I don't know how to sew. So a lot of the suit's held together with hot glue, a lot of hot glue, and it actually turned out pretty well. So I can't really say much about that. I mean, I guess it's kind of janky how that works, but it turned out really well. You can't really tell that a lot of the pieces have been hot glued on, and they stay on like really, really well. I wish I would have found out about hot glue well before I started using Gorilla Glue, which is what I started off with, which I won't even mention because it's awesome glue, but don't use it for this project. Don't. It sucks for that. Anyways, I'll get back with you guys as soon as I have a little bit more going on, and yeah, enjoy. Hopefully you guys start working on a costume. That'd be awesome to see what you guys can do with the Dead Space suit and everything like that. You know, what I might have missed, everything. Yeah, awesome. Thank you for the people that have checked out my last one, and the 2 people that have given me the thumbs up. The guy from Ace Informs, super nice guy. He's down below that. Well, yeah, I'm actually pointing like it's there right now. Yeah, add that guy. Cool guy. Anyways, I'll see you guys later.